we're doing something a little different. We're not just looking at history, we're hacking it. We're diving deep into the Vatican's official records, but we're treating them less like sacred texts and more like, well, like a system of code. A code that might just have a few bugs, or maybe some intentionally written backdoors.
Here's our way in. Think of this as a glitch in the historical matrix. Just take a look at this slice of the papal list, from 1046 to 1145. I mean, at first, it's just a bunch of names, no big deal. But look closer. The numeral 2 just keeps showing up, over and over and over again. It's almost too perfect, you know? Too neat and tidy to be random. Okay, so let's really focus on this little anomaly. We're zeroing in on this specific 100-year period. Now, this isn't just some weird historical footnote. For us, this is the loose thread, the one that, if we pull on it, might just unravel a much, much bigger story.
I mean, just listen to this pattern. You've got Clement II, Damasus II, Victor II, Nicholas II, Alexander II, and it doesn't stop there. Paschal II, Calixtus II, Honorius II, Innocent II. You get the idea. Real history is messy. It's chaotic. This is a formula. It has the clean, symmetrical feel of something that was designed, not lived.
So we've got to ask, right? Is this just one of the weirdest coincidences in all of history? Or are we actually looking at the signature of an author? Or maybe more like a programmer? This pattern, it might just be a clue, a little trace left behind on purpose inside the code of papal history.
And that brings us to our main theory here, the copy-paste hypothesis. The basic idea is that huge chunks of the papal register weren't a record of things that actually happened, they were just copied from earlier times and pasted into the timeline to fill in the gaps and create this illusion of an unbroken, ancient line of power. And the scale of this is it's staggering. We're not talking about a few forged letters here and there. The analysis suggests a systematic fabrication that covers 770 years, from 685 all the way to 1455. That's centuries of history, potentially built on duplicated data.
Okay, this slide shows you exactly how it might have worked. On the left, you've got the popes from 523 to 607 AD. On the right, the list from 162 years later. Just look at the parallels. John I on the original list becomes John V on the copy. Gregory I becomes Gregory II. The pattern of names, the repetitions, it's way too similar to just be a coincidence. It's like a ghost echo of an earlier time.
So, here's the bottom line. It feels less like history and more like a function in a word processor. It really seems like the people who made this timeline just selected a block of popes from the 6th century, hit copy, moved the cursor forward 162 years, and hit paste. History made with a keystroke.
But this wasn't some clumsy, one-time forgery. The evidence points to a really complex system, an algorithm, with different subroutines for creating a believable but totally artificial historical record. So let's try to decompile some of those routines right now.
One of the key variables in this whole code seems to be a kind of time delay function. The analysis found this recurring time shift of exactly 418 years between an original list of popes and its later fabricated copy. It's a consistent number, a specific chronological offset.
And here is that 418-year echo, right in the data. On the left, the real list from the 13th and 14th centuries. On the right, the fabricated echo from the 9th. John the 21st is mirrored by John the 8th, Nicholas III by Nicholas I. It's like the later real list was used as a template to invent an earlier phantom one. It's history written completely backwards.
Now, let's look at one of the most complicated parts of this whole construction. This diagram shows the papal sequence from 1277 to 1455. And at first glance, it just looks like a random jumble of names, right? But the architects of this system, they left clues, a kind of internal logic, if you know where to look for the central processing unit.
And the key to unlocking that whole messy diagram is this guy, Pope John the 22nd. He isn't just another name on the list, he is the structural anchor. He was the first pope to start his reign in Avignon, which was a huge historical shift. In our model, he's the central axis that the entire algorithm revolves around. So let's go back to that crazy diagram, but this time we'll put John the 22nd right in the middle. And suddenly, boom, the chaos disappears and you see perfect symmetry. Right before him, a Benedict and a Clement. Right after him, another Benedict and Clement. Further out, an Urban and a Gregory are mirrored by another Urban and Gregory. Come on, that's not a coincidence. That is architecture. That is a deliberately constructed history.
So, if you built these long, complicated blocks of fake history, how would you even keep track of it all? Well, it looks like they used what you could call boundary markers, specific papal names that act like comment tags in computer code, basically saying, end of fake section here. And the most important marker seems to be the name Anastasius. This cannot be an accident. The name is literally Greek for the resurrected one. What better name could you possibly use to signal the end of one artificial timeline and the resurrection of a new one? Its appearance is a huge flag in the code, marking the seams of the whole fabrication. And Anastasius isn't alone. These three names basically form the syntax for the whole system. You've got Anastasius, the resurrected, marking the major breaks. Then there's John, a reference to the Baptist, another key delimiter. And what's really fascinating is that two of these John popes were actually named Peter at first, a direct callback to the very first pope. They're like these symbolic anchors in a sea of made-up names.
Now, this intricate, centuries-long system of manufacturing history, it doesn't just fade out. It comes to a sudden, dramatic stop. The old code is basically thrown out and replaced by a new, much more aggressive operating system, a total system reboot.
And the reboot starts right here, in 1455, with the first Borgia Pope, Calixtus III. His rise to power marks the end of the well-structured list. The carefully crafted patterns, the copies, the symmetry, it all just stops. The Borgias didn't need to inherit a fake history. They were about to write their own, with brute force.
This was a massive shift in strategy. For 700 years, the goal was to build a history that made your power look legitimate. But with the Borgias, the game changed completely. They just took power. The need for that old, elegant, coded history just vanished, replaced by the raw, unapologetic ambition of families like the Borgias and the Medicis.
And this quote from the source material really puts it all into perspective. The era of the Borgias was so famous for its corruption and raw lust for power that in comparison, the act of faking 7 centuries of the papal register to legitimize your claim, well, it starts to seem almost quaint, almost trivial.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty unsettling thought. We've just looked at how one of the most foundational historical records in the Western world might be, in part, a fabrication. So if phantom popes can exist in the Vatican's own timeline, what other official histories are out there just waiting for someone to find the first glitch in their code?